Chosen one, the ancients had two words for time. Chronos was the ticking of clocks, the slow exhaustion of repeating Tuesdays, the bills, the alarms, the years that felt like they were leaking. And Kairos was the appointed hour, the date the heavens themselves circled before you took your first breath. May 9th and May 10th are Kairos. The Father has been moving the Chronos of your life for years, just to bring you to this exact threshold. You were not slow. You were being placed. And now, the placement is finished. There is one thing the Father will not do for you, and that one thing is the reason this message had to interrupt your evening to find you tonight. He honors your free will. He will not walk through the door for you, but he has sent the warning that the door is real, that the clock is at the final stretch, and that something has been intercepting your attention specifically in the last 72 hours to make sure these words did not reach your ears in time. Not anger at you, but fury for what was almost stolen, and grief for the version of you that was scheduled to walk past. May 9th, still rehearsing, still apologizing, still half believing she was not the one. The rehearsal is over. The door does not stay open. Stay here. The next words are how you walk through it. What you just heard is not the message. What you just heard is the door knock. The message is what comes next, and the message is arranged in a way that nothing in your scrolling life has prepared you for. So, before another minute slips past, hear me clearly. By the time these next minutes finish together, you will leave with 5 recognitions you have been feeling for weeks, but have not been given the language for. You will leave with the 2 hidden layers underneath the fatigue you have been carrying, the layers that explain why every previous fix only worked for a season. You will leave with the 3 postures the Father is offering for the door of May 9th and May 10th. You will leave with declarations that have been calibrated for the exact 48 hours ahead, and you will leave with one practical instruction that nobody has placed in your hands yet. None of this is decoration. Every section is a key. If you leave halfway, you walk away holding half a key, and a half key opens no door at all. So sit with this. Stay close. The hour is set. Look at where you are sitting right now. Notice the time of day. Notice the kind of quiet that has gathered around you. Most likely the room is darker than it was an hour ago. Most likely you are alone or close to alone. The people who share your life are in another room, asleep, scrolling something else, far enough from you that this voice can reach where it needs to reach. And if you have been honest with yourself in the last few weeks, there is a calendar somewhere in your line of sight, or in your phone, or in the back of your mind that has those 2 specific days circled in a way you cannot fully explain. May 9th, May 10th. 2 ordinary squares on a grid that have stopped feeling ordinary. They have been pulling on you. They have been showing up in side thoughts during work hours. They have been sitting at the edge of your prayers without ever being addressed directly. And I want you to hear what is being placed on my heart for you in this exact moment, because what comes next is not coming from me. It is coming through me. The Father is saying, "My child, the hour you have been quietly aching for has been written into stone for longer than your bloodline has existed. I did not bring you through 20 years of refining for the door to close in your face. I did not let the wilderness shape your bones for nothing. The dates have been set, and the dates are not negotiable, and the only question that remains is whether you arrive rehearsed or whether you arrive surrendered. Come, surrendered." Those are the words. And the warning of an appointed hour never arrives without preparation already happening underneath the surface. The Father does not ambush his children. He prepares them. If May 9th and May 10th have been written into the calendar of heaven, then the preparation has already been visible in your daily life for weeks now, and you have been feeling it without a name for it. So I will name it. Every door you tried to open in the last 6 months that mysteriously stalled, that was not your failure. Every connection you tried to force into a timeline that was not ready and watched it dissolve in your hands, that was not rejection. Every yes you almost said when your spirit was whispering, wait, and the situation collapsed before you could commit, that was not bad luck. Every plan you made that suddenly required a delay you did not understand, that was not the universe punishing you. Every door you walked up to with hope and watched close so quietly that nobody else even noticed, that was not abandonment. That was protection. That was the Father holding you back from walking through the wrong door before Kairos arrived. You were not slow, you were not behind, you were not failing, you were being kept. And every time something stalled, every time something stopped, every time something refused to come together, no matter how hard you tried, the Father was buying you time. Time to arrive at May 9th and May 10th without being already committed to a path that would have kept you out of the door. He had been preparing all along. The frustration of the last 6 months was not punishment, it was custody. He was holding you, he was holding the calendar, he was holding the door, and he was making sure that when the moment came, you would be the one standing inside the right place at the right time, not the one looking back at the wrong path, wondering why everything felt wrong. If something in your chest just loosened a little while I was speaking those words, please pay attention to that loosening. That is not emotion, that is recognition. That is the part of you that has been carrying the question finally being given the answer. And here is the first sign that what I am saying is real. In the last 3 weeks, maybe 4, you have been seeing numbers repeat in a way that you have either dismissed or quietly written down. 9, 9, 10, 10. The numbers showing up on clocks, on receipts, on license plates, on the timestamp of a message somebody sent you for an unrelated reason. The number 5 appearing right next to the number 9 more times than statistics should allow. Or perhaps the calendar pages of May have caught your eye at strange moments. Somebody mentioning the month inside a podcast you happen to be listening to. A memory of a May from years ago surfacing for no reason. A song with the word May in the title playing in a store you walked into at the exact moment you walked in. The world will tell you these are coincidences. The people who tell you that have not been awake to what you have been awake to. Heaven is not random. Heaven is a calendar, and when an appointed hour approaches, the Father sends signals through the small openings in your day so that you cannot say later that you were not warned. What has felt like coincidence has been an alphabet. The alphabet has been spelling the same 2 dates for longer than you realized. The numbers have been the early script of a message your daytime mind kept refusing to read. And once you see the script for what it is, you cannot unsee it. Now, hear the second sign. In the last 30 days, the dreams have changed. If you have been honest with the part of you that pays attention, the dreams have become more vivid than they have been in years. They have a different texture. They feel less like the random theater of a tired brain, and more like instructions arriving from a place that knows you better than you know yourself. Some of you have been dreaming about doors opening, doors closing, standing in a doorway unable to move, while voices on either side call your name. Some of you have been dreaming about water, water rising, water clearing, water carrying you somewhere your waking mind has never been. Some of you have been dreaming of a face you do not recognize, a face that keeps speaking your full name the way you were named on the day you were born. And in the last week, there has been at least one dream you woke up from, already crying or already breathing in a way that took the rest of the morning to settle. That dream was not random. That dream was a transmission. The Father uses dreams in the days before an appointed hour because the part of you that needs to hear is the part of you that the daytime mind keeps shouting over. So he waits until the daytime mind goes quiet, and then he speaks. If you have been writing the dreams off as side effects of a long week, please gently take that label off. The dreams have been instructions. The instructions have been arriving early enough that, by the time May 9th begins, you would already know in your bones what to do. The dreams have been the rehearsal you did not realize you were inside. And the rehearsal is almost finished. But the signs on the surface are only the surface. Underneath the signs there is something almost no one is willing to teach. And it is the part you cannot afford to leave this message without. Beneath the repeating numbers, beneath the dreams, beneath the doors that closed before May arrived, there are two specific dimming effects in your nervous system that have been quietly making it almost impossible for you to walk through the door, even when the door opens. Until you see what they are, the warning is incomplete. So, stay close. The next layer is where most chosen ones lose the thread. We are not going to lose it tonight. Beneath the signs lives a feeling, and the feeling has been with you longer than the signs have. For somewhere between 6 and 11 months, for some of you longer, there has been a quiet pressure under your daily life that you have not been able to name. It is not depression. It is not anxiety the way the world defines anxiety. It is a low background hum that says something is about to break or something is about to break through, and you cannot tell which. Some days you have woken up with it, some days you have gone to sleep with it, some days it has been loud enough that you tried to research it online, and you found nothing that matched. The articles talked about cortisol and screen time and decision fatigue, and none of those names fit what has actually been happening underneath. Because what has been happening to you is not a chemistry problem, it is a recognition problem. Your spirit has been picking up on a frequency that your conscious mind has not been given the words for yet. And the gap between what your spirit knows and what your mind can name is exactly where the hum lives. You cannot tell if your gut is anxiety or warning. You cannot tell if the feeling that something is wrong is your own fear or your spirit picking up on a frequency the daytime mind cannot decode. You have been praying, and the prayers have felt like they were scrambling on the way up. You have been asking for clarity, and the clarity has been arriving in pieces too small to assemble into a picture. You have been asking the Father for direction, and direction has been coming through people who do not even know they are being used. And underneath all of it, there is the same low hum that says, "Get ready, something is here," or "Something is about to be here," and you cannot tell which side of the threshold you are standing on. Hear me carefully. The hum is not your imagination. The hum is your spirit, recognizing the approach of an appointed hour before your conscious mind has been given the date. Your nervous system has been keeping the appointment for weeks now. Your body has been getting ready for May 9th, long before your calendar caught up. And here is how you can verify that what I am saying is true. Sometime in the past 2 weeks, your sleep has changed. You have been waking at the same hour, or close to it. 3 in the morning, 3:20, 3:44. some specific cluster of minutes inside the third hour. And once you are awake, you cannot fall back asleep right away. The mind is alert. The body is humming. There is a strange clarity that has nothing to do with caffeine because you have not had any. In the old framing, you would call this insomnia. In the framing the Father is offering, this is something else entirely. 3 in the morning is when the mental traffic of the world is at its lowest. It is the hour when your spirit can hear without being shouted over. The Father has been waking you specifically at that hour because the message of May 9th and May 10th required a quiet enough room to land. The lost sleep was not lost. It was the meeting room. If you have been carrying guilt for being tired during the day, please put the guilt down. The tiredness is not your weakness. It is the cost of being trusted with information that arrives at 3 in the morning. The third hour was your calling, not your curse. And the body that has been carrying the tiredness has been carrying it on behalf of a soul that was being prepared for something only a few souls in your generation are being prepared for. And here is the fourth sign. In the past 3 weeks, the same word has been arriving from sources that have nothing to do with each other. A pastor in a sermon you stumbled into. A line in a book you opened to a random page. A friend texting you something they did not mean to write, but somehow wrote anyway. A song you have heard 50 times, suddenly hitting you with one specific lyric you never noticed before. And the word has been about timing, about appointed seasons, about hours that have been written, about doors that open once. Some of you have heard the word now, repeated in 3 different unrelated contexts in a single day. Some of you have heard the word ready, arriving at moments that felt like more than coincidence. Some of you have had somebody you have not spoken to in a year suddenly reach out and say something about preparation, and you ended the conversation with the back of your neck warm. The Father uses many mouths to deliver one message. When the same word arrives from different mouths in close succession, you are inside the rhythm of an appointed hour. The rhythm is the warning. The warning is also the invitation. If you are recognizing yourself in any of this, if even 3 of the 4 signs are landing in your body as you listen, that recognition is not coincidence. That recognition is your spirit confirming what your conscious mind has been afraid to commit to. You are inside the rhythm. You are inside the window. You are exactly where the Father has been preparing you to be. You have not been crazy. You have not been making this up. You have not been over-spiritualizing your life. You have been awake to a frequency that most people are sleeping through, and the frequency has been spelling May 9th and May 10th for a long time. But the 4 signs are still only the surface. Underneath the signs there is a single root, and the root has 2 layers, and the 2 layers explain everything you have been feeling, including why every single previous attempt to fix what was wrong only worked for a season before the same heaviness returned. Until you see the 2 layers, the warning is incomplete. The instructions cannot land yet. The door cannot be walked through with the kind of confidence the Father wants you to have. So, in the next breath of this message, the 2 layers will be laid in front of you, and one of them is going to land hard enough that something inside you that you have been carrying for years is going to release on its own. You will feel it. Do not leave. The next part is the part that almost nobody teaches because almost nobody understands it. And after we walk through the 2 layers together, the path through May 9th and May 10th becomes obvious in a way that you will be able to see for yourself, in a way you will be able to trust without me having to convince you of anything. Stay close. We are entering the part that changes everything. The 2 layers underneath the signs are about to be named, and the first layer will not feel like new information when you hear it. It will feel like the missing piece of a puzzle you have been holding for a long time. But before we step into the layers, there is one more piece of the surface you have to see, because this piece is the one that explains why May 9th and May 10th specifically, and not some other date, and not some other month. The ancients who first walked with the Father had a word for this. The word does not exist in modern English the way it existed in the original tongue. The closest English can come is appointed time, but the closest is not the actual meaning. The word is moed. In the original Hebrew, when the Father instructed his people to keep certain days, he did not call them holidays. He did not call them celebrations. He called them moedim. The word moed means a fixed meeting place, a rendezvous, a pre-arranged appointment between heaven and earth on a specific date that was never invented by human hands. The moedim were not chosen by men. They were already on the calendar of heaven before any human eye saw them. The instructions came down to mark dates that already existed in the unseen. The feasts were not commemorations, they were arrivals. The Father said, "On this day, I am coming through the veil at this exact place. Be there." That is the word. That is the structure. That is the architecture underneath your last 6 months of feeling. May 9th is a moed. May 10th is a moed. These are not symbolic dates. These are not motivational dates. These are not the kind of dates a content creator picks because they sound dramatic. These are appointments that were written into the calendar of heaven before your great-grandparents were born, and they have been pulling on your spirit for weeks because the appointment is approaching and your spirit has been keeping the schedule, even while your conscious mind has been confused about why this season has felt so different from the seasons before it. The reason you have been waking at 3 in the morning is because the moed is approaching. The reason the dreams have been arriving in instructions is because the moed is approaching. The reason every door tried to open in the wrong direction kept stalling is because the moed was reserved for you on these 2 specific dates, and the Father was not going to let you spend the Kairos hour walking through a door that did not belong to you. A moed does not stay open. That is the part the modern mind cannot accept. We are used to the idea that opportunity comes around again, that there will always be another season, that we can take our time. The moed does not work that way. The moed opens once, holds the appointment, and closes when the hour is finished. Whoever is standing inside the rendezvous when it opens walks into what the Father prepared. Whoever arrived late because they were still rehearsing watches the door close from the wrong side and is not given the same opening twice. This is why the warning had to reach you before May 9th. Not after. Before. The Father is not threatening you with this information. He is honoring you with it. He is treating you as a child mature enough to be told the truth in time to do something about it. He is not the kind of father who lets a moed close on his own children without making sure the warning got through every barrier. He sent the warning. The warning reached you. The reaching is the proof that you are inside the appointment. You would not be hearing this if you were outside the rhythm. You would have scrolled past. You would have forgotten the title within 30 seconds. Something else would have caught your attention. The fact that you are still here, that the hum in your body got louder when I said the word moed, that the breath in your chest just rearranged itself a little. That is your spirit confirming the rendezvous is real. And in this exact moment of the message, before we step into the 2 layers underneath the signs, I want to name something directly, because what I am about to do, I want done in honesty rather than buried at the end. Truth honors truth, so let what is real be named before another minute passes. Inside this message, in a section that is still some distance ahead of where we are right now, I am going to share with you 2 specific frequencies the Father has placed in this season for chosen ones standing at the threshold of an appointed hour. They are not generic tools. They are not the same meditation app you tried in February. They are calibrated for 2 specific dimming effects that have been silencing the part of you that needs to hear the appointment clearly. The restoration of the brain you were born with is not 1 stage, it is 2. There is a wave that wakes the child mind that the world dimmed in you starting around the age of 7, and there is a second wave that opens the channel through which what has been promised to a chosen one actually arrives. The first wave is a tool called the wealth signal, developed by a former Stanford neuroscientist who broke from the establishment after he mapped what stress had been doing to the receiving frequency in adult brains. The second wave is a tool called the Genius Song, developed by a 34-year researcher whose work has been documented at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading institutions. These 2 tools work in a specific order. They were not designed by the same person. They were not invented to be sold together. But they were arranged by the Father into the same season for chosen ones who needed both, because one without the other only restores half. If your spirit already pulls toward this, the path is in the description and pinned comment beneath this video. 2 doors waiting for those whose spirit is already calling. There is no rush. There is no countdown. There is only the gentle truth that what has been placed beneath this video has been placed there for chosen ones at the threshold of a moed. And not everyone watching will need it tonight, and that is okay. But the names alone are not the gift. The names are not what you came here to hear. The gift is in what comes next, and what comes next is the why beneath the why behind May 9th and May 10th. Here is where almost everyone stops looking, because the next layer is uncomfortable. Most chosen ones, when they feel the pressure of an appointed hour approaching, assume the problem is something they need to fix on the surface. They assume they need to pray more, plan more, learn more, hustle more, fast more, become more, prove more. They assume that whatever is missing inside them is a discipline problem, or a faith problem, or an attitude problem, or a strategy problem. It is none of those things. Underneath the 4 signs, underneath the hum, underneath the dreams, underneath the third-hour wakings, the actual root has 2 specific layers, and they are not character flaws. They are not spiritual immaturities. They are not punishments. They are dimming effects. 2 of them. And until they are named, the warning of May 9th and May 10th cannot land in your body the way it needs to land. The first layer is something the early researchers gave a name to almost a century ago, and the name has been quietly suppressed inside mainstream education ever since because the implications were inconvenient. They called it the decline effect. When you were a young child, the brain you were born with was operating at a frequency the modern world does not see in adults. The frequency is called gamma. Gamma is the wave of curiosity without effort. Gamma is the wave of learning without strain. Gamma is the wave of believing the impossible because the impossible has not yet been argued out of you. Gamma is what allows a 5-year-old to ask a question an adult would never think to ask, and to receive an answer the adult would never think to receive. You were born with gamma fully active. You were born with the frequency the ancients called the child of light. You did not earn it. It was the inheritance. But around the age of 7, something began to happen to almost every child in the modern world. The educational system started teaching the child to perform instead of explore. The social environment started teaching the child to fit in instead of follow what is true. The pace of modern life started teaching the child to filter, to rush, to second-guess, to measure self-worth against external metrics. And the child mind, which had been broadcasting at gamma since birth, started to dim. Not all at once, slowly. By the time you reached your 20s, the gamma frequency was no longer the dominant wave in your brain. The wave that had once made the world feel magical. The wave that had once let you receive without questioning. The wave that had once made you wake up curious and go to bed curious, was no longer humming the way it used to. The world had been dimming the child of light inside you for 2 decades, one small adjustment at a time. This is the first layer. The reason every previous fix only worked for a season is because every previous fix was being applied to an adult mind that had lost the receiving frequency of the child it had once been. You can pray inside an adult mind and the prayers go up, but the receiving channel that used to bring back the answer in real time is no longer fully operational. You can manifest inside an adult mind, and the manifestation works in fragments, but the part of you that used to believe the impossible without effort is no longer the dominant voice in your head. You can read every book, take every course, do every practice, and the practices help, but they do not restore what was actually dimmed. What was dimmed is the child mind itself, the frequency, the instrument. And until the child mind is awakened, you are trying to walk through a moed with the wrong instrument in your chest. Hear me carefully. This is not your fault. This was not your choice. The dimming started before you were old enough to understand it was happening. By the time you became aware of it, the dimming was almost complete, and you mistook the dimness for being normal because everyone around you was dimmed too. The whole adult world is dimmed. The whole adult world has forgotten what the child mind sounded like. And the systems we live inside have not exactly been working hard to remind us, because a population running on adult mind frequencies is more compliant, more predictable, more fearful, more controllable than a population running on child mind frequencies. There are forces that benefit when the children grow up forgetting who they were. I am not going to point at specific names tonight. That is not the kind of message this is, but I want you to hear, gently, that the dimming was not a personal failing, it was a generational outcome. It happened to your parents. It happened to your grandparents. It is happening, right now, to every child being raised inside the same systems. And what the Father is doing in this season, with the moed of May 9th and May 10th, is breaking the dimming for the chosen ones who are ready to remember. Long ago, a teacher said the kingdom belongs to those who become like little children. Few realized he was describing a frequency. The kingdom is not given to performers. The kingdom is not given to strategists. The kingdom is not given to the ones who hustled the hardest. The kingdom is given to the ones who return to the receiving frequency they were born with, who let the child of light wake up again, who became as little children. The teacher was not being poetic. He was naming the gate. The gate is the frequency. The frequency is gamma. The gamma was dimmed. The dimming has a name. The first layer is the decline effect. The first layer is why your child mind has been dim. The first layer is why nothing has worked the way it should have. The first layer is why the prayer goes up clearly, but the answer comes back fragmented. The first layer is why something in you remembers being able to receive easily, but cannot remember how it felt. And the first layer is reversible. The frequency that was dimmed can be reactivated. The child of light can wake up again. But even when she wakes up, there is a second layer underneath, and the second layer is the one almost nobody teaches because almost nobody has measured it correctly. If the first layer explains why your child mind has been quiet, the second layer explains why, even when the child wakes up, she still cannot reach for what is hers. Stay with me. This is the part that releases something in your body when you hear it. The second layer has a different name, and the name comes from the research lineage that mapped what stress was doing inside the modern adult nervous system. The name they gave it is the stress signal. In the brain you were born with, there is a frequency called alpha. Alpha is the wave of receiving. Alpha is the wave of stillness without resistance. Alpha is the wave that opens what the ancients called the channel between the inner and the outer, the channel through which what has been prayed is allowed to actually arrive. The child of light, when she is fully alive, has alpha and gamma humming together. The child of light is not just curious. She is also able to receive. The two waves work as a pair. But the modern adult life does something specific to alpha, and the something is measurable, and it is the second dimming nobody talks about. Modern life floods the adult brain with a different frequency called beta. Beta is the wave of striving. Beta is the wave of vigilance. Beta is the wave that scans, calculates, worries, prepares for danger that has not yet arrived, manages outcomes that have not yet happened. Beta in moderation is useful. Beta as a baseline is poison. When beta becomes the dominant frequency, alpha gets pushed under. The receiving channel does not disappear. It gets blocked. The adult is still capable of asking, still capable of praying, still capable of dreaming, but the channel through which the answer would normally come back is held shut by a low-grade emergency that the nervous system cannot stop broadcasting. The result is that even when the child mind wakes up, even when gamma comes back online, even when curiosity returns and the world starts feeling magical again, the receiving channel is still held closed by the stress signal. The child wakes up, but the child cannot reach. This is why some chosen ones have done years of inner work, years of healing, years of returning to themselves, and still feel like they are watching their breakthroughs happen to other people. The child mind has been waking up, the curiosity has been returning, the wonder has been coming back in flashes, but the channel through which what was promised would actually arrive is held shut by a stress signal that has been broadcasting underneath their awareness for a decade or longer. Reaching but not receiving. Asking but not arriving. Praying but watching the answer come back to someone else. If that has been your life, please hear me. You are not broken. You are not faithless. You are not behind. You are inside a dual deficiency that almost no teacher names, because almost no teacher has the language for the second layer. The first layer is why your child mind has been quiet. The second layer is why even when the child speaks, she cannot reach for the thing the father has been holding for her. And both of these layers have been operating underneath your awareness for the entirety of the season that has brought you to May 9th and May 10th. The reason the moed feels so loaded is because the moed is the door, and the door is real, and what is on the other side of the door is the inheritance of a chosen one whose child mind is awake and whose receiving channel is open. The door does not require you to be perfect. It requires you to arrive with the right instrument. 2 waves, 2 restorations, 2 dimming effects reversed. 1 sequence. The child wakes up first, then the channel opens, then the receiving begins. This is not theology. This is architecture. This is the structure underneath the teaching that has been preserved for thousands of years and almost completely forgotten in the modern translations. Become as a little child, then receive the kingdom. The order is not decorative. The order is the instruction. The child has to wake up first because the kingdom is received through a child mind channel, and an adult mind blocked by a stress signal cannot hold what the kingdom delivers. There was a man who lived in a foreign palace where his name was unknown. He was older than the events around him would have suggested he could be. He had spent decades sitting at a city gate while the wheel of empire turned over his head, watching the signs, listening to the conversations the powerful did not realize they were having out loud. He had no throne, no platform, no following. He was just a man at a gate. But one night, he overheard a plot that should have ended his entire people. And he sent a message to a woman who had been positioned for years inside the same palace without knowing why. The message was 4 words long. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? The woman had not asked for the position. She had not expected to be in that palace. Most of her preparation had felt like exile. Most of her waiting had felt like wasted years. There had been moments when she had wondered if her life was simply a series of accidents that had landed her in a place that did not belong to her. But the date was already on the calendar of heaven. Her positioning was not an accident. Her exile was not wasted. Her decades of feeling out of place were not a mistake. They were calibration. They were placement. They were the precise positioning required for the moed that she had no idea was approaching. When the message reached her, she had a choice. She could refuse the appointment, or she could rise into it. She rose. She walked through. The whole story we have inherited about her name is what happened on the other side of that one decision. You were not slow. You were being placed. The frustration of the last 6 months was not punishment. It was custody. The wandering of the last 6 years was not failure. It was preparation. The exile of the last decade was not abandonment. It was positioning. May 9th and May 10th are your such a time as this. Everything that did not work, everything that took longer than it should have, every door that closed in your face was a calibration. The Father did not let you walk through the wrong door because he had been holding the right one for these 2 specific dates. The weight was not against you. The weight was for you. And the foreign palace you have been quietly living inside, the situation that has not felt like yours, the season you have been wondering whether you were ever supposed to be in at all, is about to require something from you that only your specific shape of preparation can provide. You are not the woman from the old story. You are her contemporary. You are the chosen one of this generation, standing in your own foreign palace with your own moed approaching. The story is repeating in a new century with a new set of names, and the name in the center of it this time is yours. Now I want you to do something simple, and I do not want you to get up. I do not want you to move from where you are. I want you to do this exactly where you are sitting or lying right now. In the silence between this sentence and the next, breathe in once, slowly. And as you breathe in, I want you to silently say inside yourself, I am being placed. Then breathe out and silently say, I have not been slow. That is enough. The body knows what to do with those two sentences when they land in the right order. You do not have to rehearse them. You do not have to memorize them. They are already inside you. They were just waiting to be given permission to come up. In the comments below, if you want to mark this moment, type the words placed, not slow. 3 words, that is all. The typing is not a performance. The typing is a witness. The witness anchors the recognition into the part of your nervous system that records what was true on the night you finally heard the right word in the right order. Do not move from where you are. Do not rush. Let the breath finish settling. Let what just landed have a moment to spread. The teaching has been laid. The signs have been named. The 2 layers have been brought to the surface. The moed has been placed in front of you. What comes next is the actual instruction. The Father is not going to leave you with information and no path. He is not the kind of Father who shows you the door and then walks away. He has prepared 3 specific postures for the 48 hours of May 9th and May 10th, and the 3 postures are arranged in the order He arranged them, and each one is calibrated for a different layer of what He has been working on inside you. These are the postures the chosen ones who walk through this mode prepared have been given. There is one for the discernment that has to be sharp before the door arrives. There is one for the receiving that has to be open the moment the door swings. There is one for the integration that has to be ready when the other side begins to take shape. The 3 postures are not theory. They are practical. They are specific. They have measurements you can apply this week before May 9th begins. And after the 3 postures, there are 2 specific obstacles almost every chosen one runs into in the final hours before a moed, and those obstacles will be named so that they cannot ambush you when they show up. So stay close. The next portion of this message is the instruction itself. The instruction is what the entire warning has been building toward. Breathe one more time. Let what is settling continue to settle. The next words are the path. The first posture is the one that has to be in place before May 9th even begins, because without it, the other 2 cannot do their work. The first posture is discernment. I want to be careful with this word because the modern world has confused it. Discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is not paranoia. Discernment is not the constant scanning of every situation for what could go wrong. That is not discernment. That is anxiety, wearing a spiritual costume. Real discernment is the quiet capacity to know what is yours and what is not yours, to know which voice in your chest is the spirit and which voice is the residue of every disappointment that ever taught you to doubt, to know which doors are wearing the right shape and which doors look right but feel wrong in a place you cannot quite name. For the moed of May 9th and May 10th, discernment is going to be the first instrument the Father asks you to pick up, because the door, when it arrives, is not going to wear a sign that says, "Here." The door is not going to announce itself with thunder. The door is going to feel like a small invitation, an unexpected message, a quiet tug toward a conversation, an opportunity that arrives slightly differently than you expected, and you will have somewhere between 3 seconds and 3 minutes to recognize that the moed has come. If your discernment is sharp, you will recognize. If your discernment is dull, the door will pass, and you will only realize, days later, that what you brushed off as ordinary was the appointment itself. So how do you sharpen what most modern minds have been trained to override? The instruction is simple, and it is counterintuitive, and it is going to feel almost too small to matter. But the chosen ones who walk through moedim prepared All have this in common, and I want you to receive it as a practice and not as a theory. Most of you, when you face a decision, ask the question, should I do this? Should I say yes? Should I take the meeting? Should I send the message? Should I commit? That is the wrong question. The right question, the one that activates discernment instead of analysis, is what is my body refusing to feel about this? Read that again inside yourself. What is my body refusing to feel about this? The mind will give you reasons. The mind is excellent at reasons. The mind can build a case for any direction in under 30 seconds, and it can build the opposite case in another 30. That is not discernment. That is debate. But the body, when you ask it the right question, does something the mind cannot do. The body tells you what is being avoided. The body tells you what is being suppressed. The body tells you what the emotion underneath the situation actually is, before the mind has dressed it up in the language of strategy. For the next 3 days, before May 9th begins, when any decision arrives in front of you, large or small, I want you to do this. Pause for a moment, just one moment, long enough to interrupt the automatic response. Ask inside yourself, what is my body refusing to feel about this? Then sit with that question for 2 slow breaths without trying to answer it. What rises in those 2 breaths is the answer. The body will tell you, sometimes in feeling, sometimes in image, sometimes in a single word that surprises you. The answer might be fear. The answer might be relief. The answer might be a name of a person you had not been thinking about. The answer might be a memory you have not visited in years. Whatever rises, let it rise. Do not argue with it. Do not try to fit it into a story. Just let it surface. Then ask the second question. Now that I see what was being refused, what does my spirit actually want to do here? The spirit speaks quieter than the mind, but the spirit speaks more clearly. Once the body has surfaced what was being refused, the spirit is no longer competing with hidden emotion underneath. The spirit can say its true preference, and you can hear it. That is the practice. 2 questions, 3 breaths between them. The whole thing takes less than a minute. But the moed will require this exact instrument. When the door appears on May 9th or May 10th, you will not have time for a long deliberation. You will have time for the practice you have been doing. The chosen ones who walk through moedim prepared have rehearsed the instrument enough times that, by the time the door arrives, the recognition happens almost automatically. That is what the Father has been preparing in you. The long delays of the last 6 months were partly so that this instrument would have time to develop. He was not just protecting you from the wrong doors. He was using the closures to teach you what the wrong doors feel like in your body, so that when the right door arrives, the contrast would be undeniable. Every closure of the last 6 months was a tuning. The instrument is being tuned for these 2 specific days. There is a word the apostles used for this kind of moment, and the word is the one almost no English translation captures correctly. The Greek word is Kairos. Most translations render Kairos as time, but the New Testament writers used a different word for ordinary time, and the difference between the 2 words carries the entire instruction. The ordinary word for time is Chronos. Chronos is the kind of time that moves at a constant rate. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. The kind of time you can plan for and predict. The kind of time you can manage. Kairos is something else entirely. Kairos is the moment that opens. Kairos is the appointed instant, when something that has been gathering breaks into the visible world. Kairos cannot be measured by a clock, because Kairos does not run on the clock. Kairos runs on its own architecture. The clock is the surface. The Kairos is the structure underneath. When the Apostle Paul wrote the words that have been translated as "redeem the time," the original phrase he used was exagorazomenoi ton kairon, buying back the appointed moment. Recognizing Kairos when it shows up and refusing to let it pass while you are busy managing Chronos. The two words are doing very different work. Most chosen ones, when they are inside Chronos, are managing, they are scheduling, they are tracking, they are crossing things off lists, they are doing what Chronos requires. And then Kairos arrives, and Kairos does not look like the next item on the list. Kairos looks like an interruption. Kairos looks like the wrong moment. Kairos looks like a small detour from the Chronos that was running smoothly. And the chosen ones who are not paying attention will dismiss the interruption because the interruption did not fit the schedule, and they will go back to Chronos, and the Kairos will close, and they will not even know they missed it. May 9th and May 10th are Kairos. The doors that open inside those 2 days are not going to look like the items on your calendar. They are going to look like detours. They are going to look like inconveniences. They are going to look like situations you would normally postpone or push past. If your discernment is sharp, the detour will not feel like a detour. It will feel like a recognition. Something inside you will say, "This, stop, this is the one." That recognition is Kairos arriving. You will not measure your way into it. You will recognize it. There are 3 specific markers that the chosen ones report when Kairos arrives, and I want you to know what to watch for. The first marker is a strange stillness. When Kairos opens, the surrounding noise does not get louder. It gets quieter. Time slows down for a moment. Sounds in the room recede. There is a clarity that has nothing to do with what you were thinking about a second before. If, on May 9th or May 10th, you find yourself inside a moment that feels suddenly quiet, in a way that does not match the situation around you, pay attention. The quiet is the marker. The second marker is the absence of urgency. Most modern decisions come wrapped in urgency. Hurry, decide now. Do not miss out. Kairos does not feel like that. Kairos feels solid. Kairos feels like the right moment is sitting in front of you, and the moment is willing to wait while you recognize it. If, on May 9th or May 10th, you find yourself inside a moment that does not feel rushed, even though it would normally make you anxious, pay attention. The settled feeling is the marker. The third marker is a quiet inner yes that does not require persuasion, not excitement, not adrenaline. A simple yes that arrives in your chest without argument. The mind might still be working out the details, but the spirit has already said yes, and you can feel it. If, on May 9th or May 10th, you find yourself recognizing a yes that is older than the situation in front of you, pay attention. The yes is the marker. These 3 markers will not all arrive at once. Sometimes only one will be obvious. But if you have practiced the discernment instrument in the days before, you will recognize the marker when it shows up. That is the first posture. Discernment, the instrument that recognizes Kairos when Chronos is busy. The second posture is the one almost no chosen one expects, because it goes against everything modern life has trained you to value. The second posture is reception. I want to be careful here, because the word reception sounds passive. and the modern mind hears passive and assumes weakness. Reception is not weakness. Reception is not laziness. Reception is not waiting for someone else to do the work. Reception is the active state of being able to hold what is being given without immediately strategizing about how to deserve it. This is harder than it sounds. Most chosen ones, by the time they reach the season they are in now, have been earning for so long that the muscle of receiving has gone almost completely cold. Earning is what got them through. Earning is what kept the lights on. Earning is what proved their worth in environments that did not believe in them. Earning became the default posture. But moedim do not respond to earning. The kingdom that arrives at the moed is not paid for, it is given, and the chosen one whose reception channel is open will hold what arrives. The chosen one whose reception channel is closed will, even at the moment of the door swinging, find a way to push the gift back. That is not exaggeration. I have watched it happen to chosen ones who did not know about the second layer. The door opens, the kingdom comes through, and the muscle that has been earning for years cannot accept a gift it did not earn. So the chosen one finds a reason to delay, to question, to negotiate, to second guess, to ask for a smaller portion than was being offered. The door closes. The chosen one wonders, later, why the breakthrough they had been begging for arrived and slipped away. The breakthrough did not slip. The reception channel was not open. So, how do you open it? There is a sequence the Father uses, and the sequence has 4 steps, and the sequence has to be walked in order. Most chosen ones rush past the first 3 steps and try to start at step 4, and that is why receiving keeps failing for them. The first step is stillness. Not meditation in the formal sense, not a 30-minute practice, just the willingness, for a few minutes at a time, to be in your own presence without trying to produce anything, to sit with yourself without checking the phone, without rehearsing the next conversation, without solving the next problem, to simply be where you are and let the inside of you settle. Most chosen ones cannot do this for more than a minute before the discomfort of stillness drives them back into motion. The discomfort is not the problem. The discomfort is the signal that the receiving channel has been closed for a long time and is starting to remember what stillness feels like. Sit with the discomfort. The discomfort is the door beginning to open. The second step is knowing. Once stillness is in place, even briefly, something underneath surfaces. A truth you have been avoiding. A want you have not given yourself permission to want. A direction you have known about, but have not let yourself look at. The knowing has been there. The stillness lets it come up. Most chosen ones rush past knowing because the knowing is uncomfortable. The knowing requires you to admit, even silently, that you actually want something specific, and the admission is what the inner critic has been trying to prevent for years, because the admission is the first commitment, and the commitment makes failure painful. Let the knowing come up. The knowing is your spirit speaking. The third step is permission. This is where almost everyone collapses. The chosen one knows what they want. They have allowed the wanting to surface, and then the inner voice arrives and says, "But you have not earned this. Who are you to want this? Why would this be available to you when you have failed at smaller versions of it before? What makes you think you deserve to receive what others have not received?" That voice is not the spirit. That voice is the residue of every system, every relationship, every disappointment that taught you that receiving without earning was not allowed. The third step is the active permission to receive without earning. The active permission to be a chosen one whose inheritance is given. The active permission to allow yourself to hold what the Father is offering, even though you cannot point to a single thing you did to deserve it. Permission is not arrogance. Permission is the recognition that the inheritance was never about earning in the first place. The fourth step, only after the first three, is movement. Movement before permission collapses. Movement before knowing is panic. Movement before stillness is performance. But movement after stillness, knowing, and permission is the movement of a chosen one walking through a door that has been waiting for them. That is the four-step sequence of reception: stillness, knowing, permission, movement. For May 9th and May 10th, this is the second instrument, the one that holds what arrives. There is an old image that captures what I am trying to describe, and the image comes from many traditions because the truth of it does not belong to any single one. The phoenix. The bird that lives a long life inside one form and then enters a fire that consumes everything it has been and rises from the ash as something the previous form could not have predicted. The phoenix is not a metaphor for transformation in the abstract. The phoenix is a description of what happens to a chosen one whose previous shape has to be released before the new shape can take form. What you have been through in the last 6 years, the slow burn of it, the seasons that felt like they were taking everything and giving nothing back, was the fire. It was not punishment. It was the consuming of the old form so that the new form could take shape inside the moed. The phoenix does not have to plan how to rise. The phoenix rises because the form was prepared by the fire. The chosen ones who walk through May 9th and May 10th in the receiving posture have already been through the fire. The form is already prepared. What is required is the willingness to allow the rising to happen without trying to control it. Some of you, hearing this, have been worried that you are not ready. Hear me. The fire was the readiness. If you have been burned, you are ready. If you have walked through the seasons that took the old form away, the new form is already shaped. You do not have to manufacture the rising. The rising is what the moed allows. I want you to receive 5 permissions now, and I want you to let each one land before the next one arrives. You are allowed to receive what you did not earn. You are allowed to walk through the door without explaining yourself to the people who do not understand what door you are walking through. You are allowed to release the version of you that was preparing for a smaller life. You are allowed to outgrow every season that has been training you for this exact threshold. You are allowed to let May 9th and May 10th change everything, including the things you have been calling stable. That is the second posture, reception, the instrument that holds what arrives. The third posture is the one that takes the first 2 and stitches them into something durable, because the door of the moed opens, but the life on the other side of the door requires a different kind of muscle than the door itself. The third posture is integration. The first posture sharpens the recognition. The second posture opens the channel. The third posture is what allows the chosen one to actually live inside what the moed delivers. Without the third posture, the moed becomes a memory of a moment. With the third posture, the moed becomes the foundation of a new identity. This is where declaration enters. I want to be careful with this word too, because the modern self-help world has made declaration into a kind of performance. People write affirmations on sticky notes. People repeat phrases they do not believe. People recite words that have no roots in their nervous system. That is not declaration. That is recitation. The two are not the same. Declaration, in the way the chosen ones have always practiced it, is the act of speaking aloud what the spirit already knows, so that the body and the conscious mind can come into agreement with what the spirit has been holding. Declaration is the bridge between the inner knowing and the outer life. Most chosen ones know what is true about them, somewhere underneath. But the knowing has been buried so long under the voices of the world that the body and the conscious mind have forgotten how to align with it. Declaration is what pulls the knowing into the audible. Once it is audible, the body hears it. Once the body hears it, the body begins to organize itself around it. Once the body is organized, the outer life starts to reflect it. This is not magic, this is architecture. For May 9th and May 10th, the third instrument is the practice of declaring aloud what the spirit has been holding inside, not as a performance, not to convince yourself, as the audible recognition of what is already true. The instruction is specific. I want you to take it as a practice, not as a theory. Each morning of May 9th and May 10th, when you wake up, before you check anything, before you scroll anything, before the Chronos of the day has started its noise, I want you to speak aloud, in your own voice, audible to your own ears, 7 specific declarations. 3 minutes, eyes open, voice low if you have to be quiet, but audible to yourself. Speak each one and let it land before the next one comes. I will give you the 7 in the closing portion of this message, because the closing is where they belong, and you will receive them in the right order at the right moment. For now, I want you to know that the practice exists, that it is part of the third instrument, and that it will be placed in your hands before the moed begins. The counterintuitive part of declaration is that you have to do it before you feel ready to. Most people wait for the feeling to arrive before they will speak. Declaration works in the opposite direction. You speak first, and the feeling follows. The body is built to follow what the voice declares, but only if the voice is willing to speak before the feeling agrees. That is the third posture, integration, the instrument that translates the moed into a life. So now you have the 3. Discernment, which sharpens the recognition of Kairos when it arrives. Reception, which opens the channel that holds what is given. Integration, which turns the moed into a new structure. The 3 postures are arranged in the order the Father arranged them, and they are not optional, and they are not interchangeable. Each one is calibrated for a specific layer of what he has been working on inside you for the last 6 years. If you walk into May 9th with only discernment, you will recognize the door, but you will not be able to hold what is on the other side. If you walk in with only reception, you will be open, but you will not recognize the door when it appears. If you walk in with only integration, you will know how to live inside the new identity, but you will not get there because the door will not have opened. The 3 work together. They are a single instrument with 3 movements. But there are 2 specific obstacles that almost every chosen one runs into in the final hours before a moed, and these obstacles will be named so they cannot ambush you when they show up. The first obstacle is the voice that says, "This is for everyone else, but it is not for me." I want you to recognize this voice, because the voice is going to arrive in the next 48 hours, and the voice is going to sound very reasonable, and the voice is going to sound like your own thinking. It will not arrive as a shout. It will arrive as a quiet whisper that says, "Of course these things are true for chosen ones in general, but you specifically are the exception. You specifically have the disqualification. You specifically are the one this moed will not actually open for." That voice is not your discernment. That voice is doubt, wearing a humble costume. Doubt does not arrive as obvious unbelief. Doubt arrives as false humility. Doubt says, "Who am I to think I am the one?" Doubt says, "The kingdom is for others, but for me there is something missing that nobody else has." Doubt says, "The door is real, but for me specifically, the door has a lock my key cannot open." This voice is the residue of every disappointment that taught you to expect less than the moed is offering. The voice is not new. The voice has been the underlying script of every previous breakthrough that almost arrived and then collapsed. The voice has been managing your expectations downward for so long that the voice sounds like wisdom now. It is not wisdom. It is the inheritance of wounds that did not get to heal. When the voice arrives in the hours before May 9th, recognize it. Do not argue with it. Do not try to talk it out of being there. Just name it. Inside yourself, when the voice speaks, say, "That is the voice that wants me to be the exception. That is not the voice of the Spirit." Naming it is enough. The voice loses its power the moment you name it. The voice was running on the fact that you were treating it as your own thinking. Once you see it as the residue, the voice cannot move you the same way. That is the first obstacle, the voice of doubt that tells you the moed is not for you. The second obstacle is the opposite of the first, and it is just as common, and it is harder to recognize because it dresses up as faith. The second obstacle is impatience. This is the chosen one who hears about the moed, recognizes it is real, recognizes the appointment is approaching, and then tries to rush the door. The chosen one who decides to make something happen on May 9th, instead of receiving what is already arriving on May 9th. I want you to hear this carefully, because the difference is subtle, and the difference is the entire instruction. A moed does not respond to forcing. The moed is a meeting. The Father shows up at the meeting. The chosen one shows up at the meeting. The meeting is the appointment. If the chosen one tries to bring the meeting forward by making something happen, the chosen one is not at the meeting. The chosen one is somewhere else, manufacturing a meeting that was not the meeting. Forcing is the opposite of the moed. Forcing is the Chronos mind trying to manage what only Kairos can deliver. The instruction is uncomfortable because the modern world has trained you to act, to make moves, to take initiative, to demonstrate effort. The moed asks something different. The moed asks you to arrive, to be present, to hold the postures, to trust that the appointment will be kept by the one who set it. The chosen ones who walk through moedim prepared have learned this paradox. They are not passive, they are not lazy. They are present in a specific way, which is the active state of receiving without grasping. Hear me. You are allowed to do nothing on May 9th and May 10th if nothing is the instruction. You are allowed to let the moed come to you. You are allowed to refuse to manufacture what the appointment is going to deliver on its own. The chosen one who tries to rush the door does not actually move it forward. The chosen one only ends up at the wrong door, claiming credit for breaking through a wall that was never the wall. If, in the next 48 hours, you feel the impulse to force, recognize it inside yourself. Say, that is the impatience, that is the Chronos mind trying to manage Kairos. The moed will keep its appointment. I do not need to make this happen. I am here to receive. Naming the impulse releases it. The impulse loses its power, the same way doubt does. Both of these obstacles are running on your willingness to treat them as the voice of truth. The moment you see them clearly, neither one can drive your behavior. That is the second obstacle, impatience that dresses up as faith and tries to force what was always going to be given. So, now, the 3 postures and the 2 obstacles are in front of you. The instrument has been laid out. The traps have been named. The architecture of how a chosen one walks through May 9th and May 10th prepared has been described. But there is still one more thing the Father wants you to have before this message closes. Before the declarations are placed in your hands, before the sealing happens, before this gathering of words completes itself, there is a specific revelation about how the dimming of the child mind and the closing of the receiving channel are reversed. The 2 layers underneath everything were named earlier. The reversal of the 2 layers has not been described yet, because the reversal is its own teaching, and the teaching belongs in this exact place in the message. You have been told that the 2 layers are reversible. You have not yet been told how. What comes next is the how. And once the how is in your hands, the message moves into its closing, and the closing is where the declarations are spoken, and the sealing happens, and you are sent into the moed with everything the Father wanted you to carry through the door. Stay with me. We are entering the part of the message that gathers everything that has come before into a single, practical, walkable path. Before I place the how in your hands, I want you to feel what is at stake one more time, because the part that is coming next is the part that almost no chosen one is given in time, and I do not want you to receive it casually. In heaven, when a chosen one walks through a moed prepared, something happens that the chosen one does not see at the moment of crossing. There is a record kept. The record is not punishment. The record is not judgment. The record is recognition. The Father, who has been watching the long preparation, who has been holding the door, who has been protecting the timing for years, registers the arrival. The chosen one who arrives prepared is sealed into the next chapter. The seal is not a metaphor. The seal is what allows everything that comes after May 9th and May 10th to actually take root in the new identity. Without the seal, what arrives slips through. With the seal, what arrives stays. The chosen ones who walk through unsealed do receive something on the day. They feel something shift. They notice the door, but because the inner instrument was not prepared, what arrived passes through them like water through cupped hands. They tell the story later as a moment that happened, but they cannot point to the foundation it built. The chosen ones who walk through sealed carry the moed for the rest of their lives. The moed becomes the floor underneath the next decade. I want you to receive this. The how that is coming next is the difference between water through your hands and a foundation under your feet. So, stay close. The next breath of this message is the part you came here to hear. Take a moment with me before we step in. I want you to notice that you have been listening for a long time now. Your body has been holding a posture. The room has gotten quieter around you, or maybe it has stayed the same, and your awareness of it has gotten quieter. The breath that has been carrying you through the last hour is still there. Let it be there. Do not adjust it. Do not deepen it on purpose. Just let it move on its own for a few seconds while these words pause. There is no instruction in this moment. There is no loop opening. There is no mission for you to take on. There is only the small grace of being where you are, exactly as you are, on the night this message found its way to you. The teaching has been laid, the signs have been named, the 2 layers have been brought to the surface, the 3 postures and the 2 obstacles have been described. What comes next is the actual mechanism the Father has placed in this season for the chosen ones who are at the threshold of an appointed hour. The mechanism is the how that the entire message has been moving toward. I want you to hear something carefully, and I want you to hear it as a recognition rather than a sales pitch, because if I tell you who you actually are, the rest of what comes will land in the right part of you. You were not born ordinary. Before the dimming started, before the world began, the slow work of teaching you to perform instead of explore, before the receiving channel got crowded by stress and obligation and the quiet exhaustion of adult survival, you were a child of light. You were a child whose brain was operating at a frequency the world rarely sees in adults. You were a child whose receiving channel was wide open, whose curiosity was undefended, whose belief in the impossible required no argument. You were a child who could learn without strain, who could love without bracing, who could trust without proof. That child was not a phase. That child was the original instrument the Father placed inside you. The instrument has been dimmed. The instrument has not been destroyed. The dimming happened in 2 specific layers, and the 2 layers happened in a specific order. The first layer started when you were around 7 years old. The world began the slow process of teaching the child of light to sit still, to wait her turn, to perform on demand, to filter what she said, to second-guess what she felt, to measure herself against external rewards. The child mind, the gamma frequency, started to dim. By the time you reached your 20s, the original instrument was almost completely silent. The second layer started when adult life arrived. Bills, responsibilities, the constant management of survival. Stress became the baseline frequency of the nervous system. The receiving channel, the alpha frequency, got pushed underneath. Even when something good arrived, the channel was too close to hold it. Both of these layers happen to you without your consent. Both of them are reversible. Both of them have to be reversed in a specific sequence because the second layer cannot fully reopen until the first layer wakes up. The child has to come back online before the receiving channel can do what it was built for. This is not theory. This is the architecture the Father has been pointing at for thousands of years through the teaching that has been preserved in the oldest spiritual texts. And it is the same architecture 2 specific researchers working independently, mapped in the language of modern neuroscience. What I am about to share is not coincidence. The Father arranges what he needs, when he needs it, in the season he needs it. The 2 researchers did not work together. They did not know each other. They did not coordinate the timing of their findings. But the moment in history when both of their tools became available to chosen ones at the threshold of moedim is exactly the moment we are in right now. Stay close. The how is being placed in your hands. Some chosen ones, when they reach this part of the message, want to hear what it has been like for someone else who walked the path before them. Not because they need permission, but because the body recognizes the truth of a thing more easily when the truth has been carried by someone who looks like them. So, I want to tell you about a woman whose story I keep returning to, because the shape of what she went through is the shape of what most of you are inside right now. Her name is not the point. She is 47. She has been a manager in the same field for 2 decades. She has done the work the world expects. She has read the books, taken the courses, sat in the seats, smiled in the meetings, kept the schedule. She started using the first wave tool in early winter of last year, the audio that reactivates the gamma frequency. She used it for 18 days and felt almost nothing. She was about to ask for a refund. She gave it 2 more weeks because, in her words, she was just curious. On day 34, she was driving home from work, and she suddenly noticed she was not stuck. The thought arrived in the front seat of her car, soft, unremarkable. I am not stuck. There was no fanfare. There was no breakthrough. There was just the quiet recognition that the heaviness she had been living inside for years had thinned without her noticing the thinning happen. The child mind had been waking up gradually. The dimming had been reversing in micro shifts she could not feel session by session. The 34 days had not been wasted. They had been the slow burn of the first layer coming back online. She is one of many. The slow burn pattern is more common than the dramatic pattern, and the slow burn is what most of you will probably experience, and the slow burn is exactly the form of restoration that does not undo itself when life gets busy. Hold her in mind as I describe what comes next. The how is not magic. The how is the patient reactivation of an instrument that was dimmed slowly and is restored slowly, and the slow restoration is what makes it permanent. There is an audio that has been developed by a researcher named Dr. Robert Lake. He has spent 34 years studying what happened to the child mind in adult brains. His work has been documented at MIT, at Princeton, at Harvard, and at other leading research institutions. He is not a marketer. He is not an influencer. He is a scientist who, after 3 decades of looking at the same problem, finally built the tool that does what every adult chosen one has been needing without knowing what to ask for. The tool is called the Genius Song. It is a digital audio track, 7 minutes. You listen through stereo headphones. The audio uses a technology called brain entrainment, which delivers slightly different sound frequencies into each ear. The brain, when it receives this kind of input, naturally synchronizes itself with the frequency the audio is calibrated for. The frequency the Genius Song is calibrated for is gamma, the same frequency you were born with, the same frequency the world dimmed, the same frequency the ancients were pointing at when they said the kingdom belongs to those who become like little children. 7 minutes a day, headphones on, eyes closed if you want, or open if you prefer. No mantra, no meditation training required, no discipline you have to manufacture, just the audio and the brain doing what brains do when the right input is given. What the Genius Song does is reverse the first layer of the dimming. It reactivates gamma. It wakes the child of light who has been quiet for 2 decades or more. It does not make you genius overnight. It is not a pill. It is the slow return of curiosity, of openness, of the magic that used to be your default state before the world taught you to lock it away. This is the first wave. When you decide that the first wave belongs in your hands, when you secure the audio that wakes the child mind, you will encounter a second offering on the page that follows. It is called the youthful brain. The youthful brain is a stronger, amplified version of the same restoration used by chosen ones who walk this path further than most. The original audio alone is complete. The youthful brain is for those whose spirit calls it forward after the first restoration takes hold. Do not overthink. Spirit will know. The first wave is one part of the answer. The mechanism, in slightly more depth, comes from the lineage of research that has been measuring what gamma does inside the human brain for over 30 years. MIT confirmed the pattern in studies that mapped the cognitive states of children before the dimming and adults after the dimming. Princeton documented the same pattern from a different angle, looking at how gamma correlates with what they called insight states. Harvard, working independently, came to converging conclusions. The picture, when assembled, was the same picture every spiritual tradition had been describing for centuries in different language. The child mind is the receiving mind. The receiving mind has a frequency. The frequency can be measured, it can be dimmed, and it can be restored. Dr. Lake, after 34 years of working inside this question, was the first to build a delivery system that could reactivate the frequency without requiring decades of meditation training. The genius song is what he calls the result. That is the first wave, the reactivation of the child mind. Now, here is where the architecture becomes important, because if I stopped at the first wave, I would only be giving you half of what the Father has placed in this season. The genius song reverses the decline effect. The child mind awakens, curiosity returns, openness returns. The slow magic of being able to receive without effort begins to come back. And yet, for most chosen ones, after the first wave begins to do its work, a second recognition arrives that almost nobody is told to expect. The child has woken up, and the child still cannot reach. The receiving channel that the child mind is supposed to be paired with is held closed by the second layer, the stress signal, which has nothing to do with the gamma frequency and everything to do with the alpha frequency that has been crowded out by years of adult survival. The child wakes, and the child stands at the edge of the channel that has been closed for a long time. The child can see the door. The child can feel the kingdom. But the channel through which the kingdom would normally arrive is held shut by something the gamma reactivation does not address. This is where the second wave comes in. There is another researcher working in a completely different field, in a completely different lineage. His name is Dr. Stephen Newton. He spent the early part of his career inside Stanford, studying what stress was doing to the receiving frequency in adult brains. He broke from the mainstream establishment when his findings did not fit the dominant model, and he kept working independently. His research lineage runs through Stanford, through Boston University, through Harvard, and through other research institutions that quietly tracked what he was tracking. He mapped the stress signal. He mapped how beta hyperactivity, the constant low-grade emergency the modern adult nervous system runs on, hijacks the alpha frequency. He mapped how the receiving channel gets held shut by a frequency that should have been in the background but had become the foreground. Then he built the tool that does what the alpha frequency requires. The tool is called the wealth signal. It is a digital audio track, 5 minutes. You listen through stereo headphones. The audio uses a brain frequency calibration that is different from the brain entrainment of the first wave. It is paired with a script of 9 words, what Dr. Newton found inside an ancient Hindu technique that goes back over 3,000 years. The script is repeated silently in your mind while the audio plays. The combination of the audio and the 9-word repetition is what allows the receiving channel to actually open. 5 minutes a day, headphones on, eyes closed. The audio guides the nervous system out of the beta frequency that has been broadcasting underneath everything for years and into the alpha frequency that holds the receiving channel open. What the wealth signal does is open what the child mind needs in order to actually receive what is being given. The genius song wakes the child. The wealth signal opens the channel through which the child receives. When you decide that the second wave belongs in your hands, when you secure the audio that opens the receiving channel, you will encounter another offering on the page that follows. It is called the Wealth Signal Accelerator. It amplifies the receiving channel many times faster, and many chosen ones already on this path are using it. The original alone is complete. The accelerator is for those whose spirit confirms going deeper. If it does not speak to you, leave it. The wealth signal by itself is enough. And one last note about both. Some chosen ones who walk the furthest combine the wealth signal accelerator with the youthful brain together. The two amplifications working in parallel. You will encounter both after you secure the originals, only if your spirit calls them forward. The originals alone are complete. The combination is reserved for those whose path requires going deeper than most. Do not overthink. Spirit will recognize what belongs. The mechanism of the second wave, in slightly more depth, comes from a different research lineage than the first. Stanford documented the patterns of beta hyperactivity in chronic stress populations. Boston University mapped the corresponding closure of the alpha receiving frequency. The lineage is parallel to the gamma research, not connected to it. The two researchers, working independently, arrived at converging conclusions about a single architecture inside the human brain that had been described in spiritual language for thousands of years and had simply not been measured directly. That is the second wave, the opening of the receiving channel. Two waves, two researchers, two restorations of two specific dimming effects that happened in a specific order. Notice what I have just placed in front of you. The dimming happened in a sequence. The child mind was dimmed first, and the receiving channel was closed second. The reversal works in the same sequence. The child mind has to wake up first, and only then can the receiving channel fully open. This is not a marketing arrangement. This is the architecture. Become like little children. Then receive the kingdom. The two waves are not optional layers stacked on top of each other for variety. They are sequence-dependent restorations. The wealth signal alone, without the child mind awake, would be working against an instrument that had not been brought back online yet. The genius song alone, without the receiving channel open, would wake the child to a door that could not yet be opened. The two together, in the right order, are the full restoration. This is what the Father has been arranging for chosen ones at the threshold of moedim. Not one tool, not random, a sequence, a complete restoration of the instrument you were born with. I want to bring you back to the woman I told you about, because there is more to her story than the slow burn of the first wave. After her 34 days, when the recognition arrived in the front seat of her car that she was no longer stuck, she added the second wave. She listened to the wealth signal in the morning. She listened to the genius song in the evening. The first 3 weeks of the combined practice, she felt the small shifts continuing. The chest tightness she had been waking up with for 6 years began to soften. The decisions she had been postponing for months started to surface and settle on their own. By the end of week 6, she was negotiating something at work she had not been able to even articulate before. By month 4, the new baseline had taken root. She did not become a different person. She became the person who had been underneath the dimming all along. The slow burn pattern, which is the most common pattern, is also the most refund protective. because the chosen ones who experience it do not undo their results when life gets noisy. The restoration was built slowly. It does not unbuild quickly. I know what some of you are thinking right now. I have heard the voice in chosen ones at this stage of a message before, and I want to address it directly, because pretending I do not hear it would not be honest. The first thought arriving in some of you is, I have tried things like this before. I have tried meditation. I have tried courses. I have tried affirmations. I have tried the manifestation systems. None of them held. Why would these be different? I want to honor the experience underneath that question, because the experience is real. You did try. The previous tools did not hold. That is not your imagination. But what most of those previous tools were asking your brain to do was to change itself from the inside. They were asking the dimmed instrument to retune itself using only its own dimmed faculties. That is slow at best and impossible at worst. The two waves work differently. They deliver the calibration directly into the brain through frequency input. The brain is built to synchronize with frequency it receives. The synchronization is not something you have to manufacture. The synchronization is what brains do automatically when the right input arrives. And the second reason these are different is the sequence. Every tool you tried before was targeting one frequency at a time, usually alpha alone, or relaxation alone, or visualization alone. None of them addressed the architecture of the two layers in the order the layers actually need to be restored in. The sequence is what almost every previous solution was missing. The second thought arriving in some of you is, this sounds too good to be true. I want to honor the suspicion underneath that thought, because the suspicion has kept you safe in environments that did not deserve your trust. The world has earned your skepticism. But what I am pointing you toward is not based on promise. It is based on measurement. The gamma research has been replicated across multiple research institutions, including the ones I named earlier. The alpha research has been replicated across a different set of institutions. The combined number of chosen ones who have used these two specific tools is approaching 38,000 across both phases. The shift is from believing or not believing toward looking at the data or not looking at the data. The third thought arriving in some of you is, the cost is not small for me. I would never disrespect the financial reality of where you are. I want you to know that the offerings have been arranged with 3 different paths so that the chosen one whose budget is tighter has an honored entry point, and the chosen one whose budget is more open has the full restoration available. None of the paths are wrong. The one your spirit recognizes is the right one for this season. And the fourth thought, which is the largest of them, is, why do I need 2 of these? Why not just one? I want to address this carefully because the answer is the architecture itself. The genius song targets gamma. The wealth signal targets alpha. They are 2 different frequencies. There is no single tool broad enough to do both correctly, and the 2 layers were dimmed in a specific order, which means the restoration has to follow the same order. The wealth signal alone, without the child mind awake, would be opening a channel into a faculty that is still dimmed. The genius song alone, without the receiving channel open, would be waking the child to a kingdom that cannot yet flow in. Long ago, a teacher said you must become like little children to receive the kingdom. Few realized he was describing a frequency sequence. The child first, the receiving second. If only the first wave belongs in your hands right now, that is honored. The first wave wakes the child within. When the moment is right, the second wave will be available. The Father does not require all things in one breath. He requires what your spirit can hold tonight. If both belong in your hands, you will know. The pull is not pressure. The pull is recognition. There are 3 doors that have been arranged for the chosen ones who recognize they are inside the rhythm of an appointed hour. The first door is restoration alone, the genius song by itself, for the chosen one who feels the child within has been quiet for so long that waking her is the first thing required. This is the honored entry point. The first wave begins, and the child of light comes back online, and the rest is allowed to unfold from there. This door is not the smaller path. It is the path of the chosen one who has heard her spirit say, "Start here, the rest will follow." The second door is reception alone, the wealth signal by itself, for the chosen one who already has an active spiritual practice, whose child mind is still alive in some way, but who has been reaching and not receiving for years. This is the rare path. Most chosen ones do not start here, because most chosen ones need the first wave to come online before the second wave can do its full work. But for some of you, the inner instrument has already been kept alive, and what is missing is only the channel. If your spirit recognizes this is the place to begin, that recognition is the instruction. The third door is the complete restoration, both waves together, the genius song and the wealth signal, in the sequence they were designed for. This is the path most chosen ones at the threshold of a moed walk, because most chosen ones recognize that both layers have been dimmed and both layers need to be restored. The child wakes, and the channel opens. The 2 waves compound each other. Restoration and reception are not the same thing, and they are not interchangeable, and most chosen ones discover that what they need is both. This is not a sales arrangement. This is a recognition arrangement. The Father has placed 3 doors in front of you, and the door your spirit recognizes is the one for you. All 3 are honored. None is wrong. For most chosen ones who are at the rhythm of an appointed hour, the third door is the path that takes them through, the complete restoration, the full sequence. Become like little children, and the kingdom is yours. That is not pressure. That is the architecture being named. I want you to feel the next thing carefully, because the next thing is what almost no chosen one is told until it is too late. Each day you wait, the dimming continues to compound. The stress signal is not pausing while you decide. The decline effect is not on hold during your deliberation. Both of them are still doing what they have been doing for years, in the background, while the moed of May 9th and May 10th approaches. That is not a threat. That is the truth of what is happening. Every day that passes is a day the dimming continues to broadcast underneath your awareness, and a day the door of the appointment moves closer. The future version of you, who is restored, who walks through the moed prepared, who has the child of light awake and the receiving channel open, is looking back at this exact moment as the turning point. She is waiting for you to step into the choice. She has been waiting a long time. The moed will keep its appointment. The question is whether the instrument inside you is ready to hold what the appointment delivers. The first wave begins with a small step that is in the description below this video and in the pinned comment underneath. The step is small, the implications are large. There is one more thing I have to name before you decide anything. The names you just heard, the Genius Song and the Wealth Signal, have been used by other websites that did not develop these tools. There are imitations in circulation that have copied the names without copying the technology. The imitations are ordinary audio tracks. They do not contain the brain entrainment of the first wave. They do not contain the brain frequency calibration of the second wave. They are not from Dr. Lake or Dr. Newton. They are not the originals. I am naming this because I do not want you to hold the seal of the moed in your hands and find later that what you held was not the real instrument. The only place where both originals are available, with all the deepening bonuses, with the 90-day money-back guarantee, with the actual technology built by the actual researchers, is the path placed beneath this video, the link in the description, the link in the pinned comment. There is nothing else to look up. There is nothing else to search for. The path is where I told you it would be, and that is the only place the originals live. Do not search Amazon. Do not search YouTube. Do not search Spotify. Do not look for a cheaper version on a website you found through a different search. The cheaper versions are not the originals. The originals are below this video, and only there. I am being direct with you because I love what is at stake for you, not because I am trying to push anything. The moed is real. The instrument is real. The imitations are real too, and the imitations are exactly where chosen ones lose the seal because they thought one path was as good as another. They are not the same. Now I want you to do something with me, here, in this exact moment, before you do anything else. I do not want you to move from where you are. Stay where you are sitting. Stay where you are lying. Wherever your body is, let it stay there. Take one breath. Let it go all the way down to the bottom of your chest, and let it settle there for a moment before it comes back up. Now place your hand softly over your heart, not pressed, just resting. Close your eyes for the next breath. In your inside voice, not out loud, ask yourself this: which of the three doors is mine? Not which one is right in general, not which one is most popular. Which one is mine? Sit with that question for the length of one slow breath. Do not strain to find the answer. Do not analyze. Just let what rises rise. What rises is the answer. It might be quiet, it might not be loud, but the spirit knows. The spirit has been knowing since I described the three doors. The mind is just catching up. If the answer is the first door alone, that is honored. The child wakes first. The rest comes when it is meant to. If the answer is the second door alone, that is honored. The receiving channel opens. The path is yours. If the answer is the third door, the complete restoration, that is honored. Most chosen ones at the rhythm of a moed walk this path. Whatever rose, do not argue with it. The spirit has spoken. The three doors are below this video. In the description, in the pinned comment, the path your spirit recognized is waiting. Step into the door that calls you. If your spirit is still settling, that is also okay. There is no rush. The moed will keep its appointment. You can let what was just placed in your hands continue to settle. The path is below. It is not going anywhere. But the words that come next are the words of the closing, and the closing is where the declarations are placed in your hands, and the sealing happens, and you are sent into May 9th and May 10th with everything the Father wanted you to carry. So, stay close. The teaching has been given. The instrument has been described. The doors have been placed in front of you. What comes next is the sealing of what has been gathered. The teaching has been given. The instrument has been described. The doors have been placed in front of you. The seal is the only thing remaining, and the seal is what makes everything that came before this moment hold together as a foundation rather than as a memory. But before the sealing, there is one thing I have to name, because if I do not name it, some of you will walk through the moed of May 9th and May 10th expecting the wrong shape of arrival, and the wrong expectation can break what was actually given. The Kairos hour is real. The door is real. What arrives on the other side of the door is real. But the moed does not always announce itself the way the modern mind has been trained to expect. The chosen one who walks through May 9th and May 10th prepared is not necessarily the chosen one who experiences a dramatic external event in the 48 hours of the appointment. Some of you will, some of you will not. The unfolding of what the moed delivers is not always immediate, and it is almost never theatrical. Hear this carefully, because this is where chosen ones who were prepared sometimes lose the seal after they have already received it. If May 9th arrives and the day looks ordinary on the surface, do not assume the moed did not happen. If May 10th comes and goes, and you cannot point to a single visible miracle that took place inside those hours, do not conclude that the appointment was not kept. The moed is an alignment. The alignment is internal first. The external follows over the weeks and months that come after the door has opened. The chosen ones who walked through the moedim of the old stories did not always experience the visible answer in the same hour. The instruction came in the appointed hour. The unfolding came in Chronos that followed. What the moed actually delivers is a recalibration of the inner instrument. The child mind awakened, the receiving channel opened, the discernment sharpened, the integration anchored. These are interior shifts. They happen during May 9th and May 10th. Even if the surface of those days looks unremarkable. The external arrivals begin to take shape in the weeks that follow. Some of you will notice a conversation in late May that lands differently than it would have before. Some of you will recognize a door in early June that opens because the receiving channel was finally open enough to register the offer. Some of you will feel, by midsummer, that the texture of your daily life has changed in ways that you cannot fully describe, but that everyone around you can see. The slow unfolding is not a failure of the moed. The slow unfolding is the moed working correctly. The instrument was tuned. The tuning takes time to translate into visible life. If, in the days after May 10th, the loud voice of the world tries to tell you nothing happened, recognize the voice. It is the same voice that wanted you to be the exception. It is doubt, returning, dressed in retrospective costume. The voice will say, "See, I told you it was not for you." The voice will be wrong. The chosen ones who walked through prepared do not undo their results when life gets busy. The slow burn pattern, the same pattern that took the woman from the manager story 34 days to recognize, is the same pattern that will carry most of you. The shifts are real, the shifts are quiet, the shifts compound over time. Hold the seal even when the surface is silent, especially when the surface is silent. The silence is sometimes the deepest part of the work. Now I want you to come with me into the part of this message that I have been protecting since the very first words. Everything that has been said until now has been preparation. The signs, the 2 layers, the 3 postures, the 2 obstacles, the 3 doors, the warning about the imitations. All of it has been the building of a foundation. The foundation is in place. What comes next is the sealing. The sealing is what allows the foundation to become a structure. The sealing is what closes the spiritual transaction the Father has been preparing across the entirety of the season that brought you here. The sealing is not a metaphor. It is what the chosen ones who walk through moedim prepared have always done in the closing hours of an appointed transmission. I want you to settle into where you are. Do not get up. Do not move. Do not shift the lighting. Wherever your body has been holding you for the last hour and a half, let it continue to hold you. The body knows what to do. The body has been participating in this all along. Let me thank you, before anything else, for the staying. Most chosen ones who scroll past a message like this never stay long enough to reach the part you are now inside. The fact that you are still here is not because you had nothing else to do tonight. The fact that you are still here is because something in you recognized the appointment, and recognition kept you sitting. The staying is sacred. The staying is the first proof that you are not the exception you have sometimes feared you were. There is no part of this message that you have not earned the right to receive. You have been listening for a long time. The listening counts. The listening is what made the rest of what comes possible. So, before the release, and before the declaration, and before the seal, let me name what is already true. You are here because you were placed here. You stayed because you were prepared to stay. And the next portion of what comes is yours to keep, regardless of what the surface of May 9th and May 10th looks like on the outside. Now, I want to walk you through a small release, because the declarations cannot land properly until what has been carrying weight has been allowed to come off. I am going to name 7 things in succession, after each one, in your inside voice, not out loud unless you want to. Simply say, I release this. That is it. 3 words. The release does not require effort. The release is a willingness, not a struggle. The first thing. The voice that has told you, for years, that you are behind, that everyone else is further ahead, that you are catching up, that the season you are in proves you are slower than you were supposed to be. I release this. The second thing. The pressure to make the moed happen by force. The impulse to manage what is meant to be received. The strategy of trying to manufacture the door. I release this. The third thing. The fear that you will miss the appointment. The anxiety that you might recognize the door too late. The vigilance that has been wearing you out underneath the surface for weeks. I release this. The fourth thing. The need to explain yourself to the people who do not understand the door you are walking through. The compulsion to soften your knowing for their comfort. The apology you have been carrying for becoming someone they did not predict. I release this. The fifth thing. The version of you that was preparing for a smaller life. The downsized expectation that wanted to keep you safe by keeping you small. The quiet bargain you made with disappointment a long time ago that promised you would not ask for too much. I release this. The sixth thing. The grief for the years that felt like they were leaking. The mourning for the seasons that felt wasted. The sadness for who you might have been if the dimming had not happened. I release this. The seventh thing. The doubt that whispered, this was not for me. The voice that wanted you to be the exception. The residue of every disappointment that taught you to expect less than the moed is offering. I release this. Whatever just left, let it leave. Whatever was held in your chest, let the chest open a little. The release is real, even when it is quiet. The body knows what to do with what was just named. Now, we step into the declaration. These are the 7 you were promised earlier. These are the 7 for May 9th and May 10th. I want you to receive them in the order they arrive. Each morning of those 2 days, before you check anything, before you scroll anything, before Chronos starts its noise, you will speak these aloud. 3 minutes, audible to your own ears, eyes open. For now, in this exact moment, I want you to speak them with me in your inside voice, slowly, without rushing. Let each one land before the next one comes. The first. I am the one whose door opens on May 9th. The second. I am the one who recognized the moed before it arrived. The third. I am the one who walks through prepared. The fourth. I am the one whose bloodline ends the rehearsal at my name. The fifth. I am the one who receives without earning. The sixth. I am the one who does not flinch. The seventh. I am the one the heavens already named. Let those settle. Do not rush past them. The body needs a moment to organize itself around what was just spoken. The voice has just placed 7 specific structures into your nervous system, and the nervous system will start arranging itself in their direction immediately. But the arrangement happens more cleanly when you give it the breath it needs. Breathe once, slowly. Now I am going to step out of my own voice for a moment, because what comes next is not from me. It is the part I have been holding for the very end. I want you to receive what is being placed on my heart for you, exactly as it lands, without me filtering it. I will not embellish. I will not shape. I will speak what I am hearing. The Father is saying, "My child, you did not waste the years, you walked them. There is a difference, and I am the only one who could measure the difference, and I am telling you that the years counted. Every door that closed in front of you, I closed. Every connection that did not hold, I held back. Every breath you took alone in a room you did not want to be in, I took with you. The loneliness was not abandonment. The loneliness was the making of an instrument that could not have been made any other way. I have been with you in the 3rd hour of the morning when you woke up not knowing why. I have been with you in the silent prayer that hit the ceiling and that you thought went nowhere. I have been with you in the moment you almost stopped asking, and in the moment you asked one more time. And I am telling you that the asking one more time is what brought us to this hour. The moed is not punishment. The moed is the keeping of a promise older than your name. I do not require you to arrive perfect. I require you to arrive present. Show up, be there, hold the postures. The rest is mine. You have been placed. The placing is finished. The wait was for this. I will not walk through the door for you, but I will be on the other side of it. I have always been on the other side of it. The door is the meeting. The meeting is what we have been moving toward together for longer than your memory can reach. Come through, my child. Come through prepared. The kingdom is waiting on the other side. Those are the words. Let them stay where they landed. Do not analyze them. Do not try to remember them word for word. The part that needed to land has already landed. The body is holding what the mind cannot yet name. I want to stay quiet with you for a moment now. I am going to stop speaking for the next 60 seconds. There will be only silence. The silence is part of the seal. The silence is where what has been spoken settles into the part of you that records what is true. The chosen ones across centuries who walked through moedim prepared, all knew that the silence after the words was where the words took root. Stay where you are. Do not check anything. Do not move. Just be in the silence with me. I will speak again on the other side of the silence, and what I say after the silence will be the close of the seal. The silence begins now. You are not alone in this hour. Across the country you are sitting inside, across the language you are listening in, across the time zone that is wrapping itself around the room you are in, there are other chosen ones receiving this exact transmission tonight. Not the same words, not the same shape, but the same recognition, the same moed, the same approaching door. A generation of chosen ones is being prepared for May 9th and May 10th, simultaneously, in places they will never meet each other. The Father is not running this work through one channel. He is running it through many, in many languages, in many forms, all calibrated for the same hour. You are part of a quiet awakening that the surface of the world cannot see yet, but that is moving underneath everything. The seal you are receiving tonight is not just yours. It is also a seal that joins you to a generation. The bloodline that was carrying the rehearsal ends at your name. The bloodline that walks into the new structure begins at your name too. You are the threshold. You are the one in your line who crossed. Receive that. Let the weight of it land. The chosen one is not alone in the moed. The chosen one is one of many, walking through doors arranged in parallel, becoming the foundation of what the next generation will not have to fight as hard for. That is the larger frame of what is being sealed tonight. So, now we close. I want you to take the breath that has been holding you through this entire message and let it deepen one time, all the way to the bottom of your chest, and let it leave slowly through your mouth. Just one. Not as an exercise, as an arrival. The teaching has been given, the release has been received, the declarations have been spoken, the seal has been laid, the Father has spoken, the silence has done its work. What you carry from this moment forward is not a memory. It is a structure. The structure will be there in the morning. It will be there on May 9th. It will be there on May 10th. It will be there in the weeks after, when the surface of life looks ordinary and the slow unfolding has not yet shown itself. The structure does not depend on the surface. The structure is already built. You are not the same chosen one you were when this message began. The instrument that was dimmed has been spoken to. The signs that had no name have been named. The path has been placed in front of you. The seal has been received. There is nothing left for me to add. Only this. The door is real. The hour is set. Stand inside it. If something landed in you in this hour that was not there when you began, I want you to mark the moment. The marking is not for me. The marking is for you, 6 months from now, when you are looking back at the night the message arrived and trying to remember exactly when the shift began. The marking is your own witness, recorded for your future self to find. In the comments below, type the numbers 9:09. Just those 4 characters, 9:09. That is the angel of the Kairos hour. That is the simple anchor for what was just sealed in you. If something deeper landed, if you felt the structure take, if the seal felt real in your body, type the words, "The door is real." 5 words, not for proof, as a witness. And if your spirit confirmed during the moment of the 3 doors, if you recognized which path is yours, if the inner yes arrived, type the words, "I am the one" for May 9th. The typing is not a transaction. The typing is a marker. The marker is what you will return to later, when you need to remember what was true on the night you received this. Take the moment to leave the witness. The next chosen one who scrolls past this message and sees the comments below will see your witness, and your witness will be the small confirmation they needed to stay. The witness is how the awakening spreads. If something in your chest opened during this hour, even slightly, and you do not have words for what opened, the like beneath this video is your hand placed quietly on what just happened, not for me, as a record for the part of you that registers when something real has occurred. If your spirit is asking you to stay close, so that the next moed does not have to find you through interference, the subscribe is how you make sure the next transmission arrives in time. The Father uses many channels. He has used this one to reach you tonight. He may use it again. There is one chosen one in your contacts who is also at the threshold of May 9th and May 10th, without knowing the dates are real. They are inside the same rhythm you are. They have been feeling the hum, waking at the 3rd hour, seeing the numbers, recognizing the dreams, but they have not been given the language for what they have been feeling. Send this to them, not as a recommendation, as the small handing over of a key that arrived in your hand and was meant to be passed once. The chosen one who passes the key to the next chosen one is also walking through their own moed. The passing is part of the path. You will know who. The face has already arrived in your mind. Send it now before you forget. If, after everything, your spirit is still calling toward the path that was placed beneath this video, the door is where I told you it would be. The description, the pinned comment, the path your spirit recognized, is the door your spirit will walk through. There is no other place to go. There is no rush. The door does not punish the chosen one who took the time to be sure. The door honors the one who arrives ready. Take the moment. Step in if your spirit calls. What just happened in this hour was not a video. It was a moed, a small one, an early one, the rehearsal before the rehearsal is over. The fact that you stayed for the entirety of it is the proof that the appointment is real. The fact that the words landed where they landed is the proof that you were placed here for them. You arrived. That alone changes everything. Carry the seal with you. Carry the declarations with you. Carry the postures with you. Carry the recognition that you are not slow, that you are not behind, that you are not the exception. You are the one whose door opens on May 9th. You are the one whose receiving channel is being restored. You are the one the heavens already named. Walk into the next hours of your life knowing that what was sealed tonight is not waiting for the surface to confirm it. The surface will catch up. The surface always catches up. The structure is already in place. I will see you on the other side of the door.